Well, this week we brought in leaders of several Metro Atlanta school districts to get their take on as the new school year begins. Today we're going to wrap up our conversations with Atlanta Public Schools. So let's bring in the APS Chief of Schools, Tommy Usher. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, and thank you for having me. Happy
Hi.
Friday to you.
Absolutely. Happy Friday. All right, let's start with this. How would you finish this sentence? The state of our school district is...
The state of our school district is ready to receive our students and our families. We've been working hard over this summer to make sure that they receive a warm and welcoming instructional environment. And so we're super excited for the upcoming year.
Yeah. Got to get that excitement in. You know, enrollment trends across Metro Atlanta are shifting. How is APS adapting at its schools?
Yeah, and so you're absolutely right about that. Enrollment trends are sort of shifting. And so what we're trying to do is sort of reprioritize and reshift resources in terms of funding and talent to match those shifts in the changing demographics in the district.
APS approved a nearly $1.85 billion budget for this school year. Where will parents and students see the biggest impacts of that invested in the classroom?
Yeah, they'll see the quality of instructional material. We hope that they experience the quality of training that we're providing our teachers around explicit instruction aligned to those instructional resources that we're investing so heavily in. The state has rolled out new ELA standards in K-12, and so we've worked really hard to ensure that our teachers are trained and they have the right tools and resources to teach our students at a high level.
Yeah. There's also been some cuts. We understand about 135 central office positions were cut, saving some money there. How will APS ensure that schools still get the support that they need?
Yeah, so the cuts do not impact the investments in schools. In fact, the cuts had nothing to do with schools. And so we took the hit here in central office and we made sure that the schools were untouched so that they could continue to provide, so that they could continue to provide the high quality learning environments that we've been working so hard to provide.
APS is APS getting any of the recently approved money that was withheld from the federal government? And if so, how is that being used?
It is my understanding that we will definitely be receiving funds. I cannot go into detail. That's more of a finance question, but it is my understanding that those federal dollars are allowed to all public schools, and so we hope to receive those soon.
What makes your APS so unique when you look at the surrounding area?
Yeah, APS is very unique in the fact that we pay our teachers at a rate that's very high. A lot of teachers, they want to work in Atlanta public schools. And so I would say, one, it is our teachers that make us very unique because they come from all over the state. They come from, in many cases, outside of the state itself. And so we have a diverse teacher base that want to be in front of our kids and want to serve our communities at a very high level.
Yeah, I understand that several APS schools have older buildings. How is the district prioritizing facility upgrades and addressing maintenance needs?
Yeah, we are currently undergoing facilities master planning. And so we're working closely with communities and family members, a lot of stakeholders to look at how we should utilize our buildings here in Atlanta Public Schools. And so we do not have a completed plan at this point, but rather the plan right now is just to really listen to the stakeholders, the parents and the community members to find out how best to serve our communities with and through our facilities master planning.
Yeah, state has a new school safety law that requires a panic alert system in the classrooms. How is APS preparing to meet that mandate as the school starts?
Yeah, so we've had a panic alert button in our classrooms for the last several years now. I don't know the exact number of years, but I want to say for at least 5 years now, we've always had a panic alert button.
How about the crackdown on smartphones used in schools? How are you guys preparing and balancing that technology and learning and trying to manage the distractions with that?
Yeah, here again, we're super excited and happy that our board had the foresight to actually adopt a policy way back in 2000. And then as technology has changed and become more available to our students and our families, the board has kept up with those transitions. And so now we have a board policy and a regulation that is in alignment with the state. The state is banning at the K-8 level, but we're going K-12. And so we have a regulation that the board has adopted that creates consistency among all of our schools. And so the regulation itself is going to drive how that ban gets implemented across our schools, with allowing some flexibility at the levels that the principals can utilize.
Could you talk to me about the next steps for digital learning tools for your school system?
Yeah, so we are now happy to say that we are a one-to-one device district. So all of our students will have devices that they can take home. A lot of our instructional resources that we've purchased, they do have digital components aligned to those resources to make the learning more exciting, more accessible to our students. And so we're just excited to be able to say that we are making the right investments in the appropriate and proper use of technology in all of our classrooms.
Yeah, we're hearing more about the focus on students' wellness and health, mental health in schools nationwide. What is APS doing to support students emotionally as well as academically?
Yeah, so we have in our student services department what we refer to as wraparound support and services. That is where we have our social workers, our social emotional learning coordinators that work closely with our principals to ensure that within the school there are practices and programs in place to meet the needs of our students. And not just the students, but also our families with as it relates to any needs around any type of wraparound supports.
Yeah, I know you've done this, but I want you to look beyond this year and look at the top priorities to ensure APS is financially stable and academically strong for the years to come. What does that look like?
That's a very good question. From an academic standpoint is what I can really speak to. Again, we're making some major investments in our high quality curriculum resources. We're looking at making investments in some assessment platforms to make sure that teachers have the data that they need to make the right instructional decisions and pivots in the classrooms, but also be very transparent and proactive in communicating to families around how their learners are doing on a regular basis in schools so that we may partner with families in educating our students in the district. On the financial side, that is not my area, so I would have to hold on that question.
Gotcha.
But for academics, certainly we're making sure that our schools continue to be equipped with what they need to serve our families and our students.
Last question for you. You got some parents looking at this and they're saying, okay, how can you ensure that our students are going to be safe in their environment this year? Give it to them.
Yes, sir. So we're happy to report that, particularly at the secondary level, we do have screening procedures in place where all of our visitors that come in our schools, they are required to be screened. We have detectors, weapons detectors in all of our secondary spaces. We have check-in visitor systems where parents have to show their ID. They get run through a system to make sure that they are that they can be in our schools. We do require all visitors to wear badges. Of course, every school, every district has to have safety plans in place. And so we have updated, we're working to update those, and we're working with local agencies such as our fire department. We have a police department within our district that are also helping to build our safety plans. And so families can rest assured that we are being very thoughtful and planning out how we're going to keep our students safe, but also focus on instruction. At the end of the day, we want kids to enjoy coming to school. Our main priority is to make sure that they're learning and learning at high levels, but also remaining safe. And so we're considering all those things as we build out safety plans.
All right, Mr. Tommy Usher, go ahead and add my name to the list. I want to come in there and help teach some weather as we
Let's
normally
do
do.
it.
So I really appreciate you joining us for today.